if one part of a marriage or partnership, it has EU citizenship, does that have any implication, or does it make it easier to get a mortgage, or does it not change things at all?
We get asked that a lot. It doesn't really change things at all, because actually the Brits are the sort of largest group of buyers in France outside of the French. And so all banks that are lending to non-residents want to lend to Brits. And that's where they found those two categories that I mentioned earlier, post-Brexit, that they can continue to lend to. So really, if someone has an Irish passport or another European passport, it doesn't significantly change the options that are available. Actually, the most options are available to the people that are resident in the UK.
Oh, that's interesting. And would that perhaps be more of interest to American buyers, who, if, for example, one like a spouse was an EU citizen?
Yes, that is where it would be. So, for example, we have scenarios sometimes where we'll have a spouse, and one of them is American, one is British, and therefore that does really help us, because we know that there's a limited sort of appetite for US citizens. But equally, if a US citizen is resident in the UK, that we have many more options, and so that can sometimes help. But it really does depend a bit, like Matthew was saying, it's so personal. Lots of this advice it's really difficult to give without knowing the exact circumstance. But if someone is, as long as there's some sort of link to the EU, some residency, but having an Irish or Italian passport actually isn't going to massively open up your options. In fact, in some scenarios, products such as interest only would only be available if you're a Brit. So they wouldn't be available for other passport holders.
Wow, okay, that's really interesting. And I suppose it just goes to highlight how important it is to get that personalised advice before you move ahead with it.